lot of big action. We talked about that a ton this week. Be sure to check out our clips from our reaction, our Touchback Tuesday. But what we want to do is review Anthony's picks.
Oh boy.
Let's do your bet review. And you're going to have highs and lows. You know
That's
what I mean?
right. It happens. These types of games happen. We got off to a good start, 5-2 in week 1, and we reversed that in week 2, unfortunately. That puts us right at 500 at 7-7. But we can start with our review of the Thursday night game, which once again I was a winner on. I picked the Chargers +4 at Kansas City. They lost the game, but they covered the spread. So the Chargers +4 was the correct pick there. So that was a win, at least to start the week. And then we went on a bit of a sad streak here, and I've got a lot to say about this. That Chargers game, that Kansas City, that was a very exciting Thursday night football game. I actually think the Chargers had a few chances to win it. Unfortunately, they did not. But once we got to the Sunday games, we're going to start with my week 2 number 6 pick, which was the Bengals -7.5 at Dallas. I mean, what could you say about this game? I think a lot of people picked the Bengals to beat Dallas by more than a touchdown, and the Bengals got crushed.
Right. Backup quarterback,
yeah.
Cooper Rush. I think everyone picked the Bengals, right?
Yep. And it was an impressive game by Dallas to say, even though we don't have Dak, we're still a good team, but also a bit of an embarrassment for the Bengals, who have apparently no offensive line and just let everything come at them. Poor Joe Burrow, even though they revamped that line, can't get a throw off to his good receivers that they have on that team, obviously. So this was just a shocking game for the entire NFL, I think, not just for me, but we did start with an L here of my pick 6 for last week. So that was a miss.
Final score 20-17, Dallas.
Yes. Bengals made a little bit of a comeback in the fourth, but it was not as close as the score indicates. I mean, they really beat them bad. So that makes us move on to my pick number 5 of last week, which was the Bears getting 10 at Green Bay. And again, this game was a bit rocky because I don't care what anybody says. Chicago scored on that goal line stance and should have had another touchdown, which would have covered the spread. And instead, Green Bay gets the ball back. They drive down the field. They get points, and they don't cover. So the NFL kind of screwed me out of this one, but it happens, Unfortunately, then this was also a miss. Yeah, a big miss.
Well, if you knew Justin Fields was only going to throw the ball 9 times, might have rethought that a little bit. Yeah. That was a pretty bizarre game plan. So not off to a good start here. What's the next one?
Two in a row there. And then we've got at number 4, my 4th pick, the Steelers +2 at New England versus New England at home. So this game just blew my mind too. The Steelers had so many chances. And I said to myself watching that game, this is the one. This is the drive where the Steelers are going to score to win the game, because all they had to do was win, really. They were only down by like 3 points most of the game in different situations, but the Steelers just ran out of gas on offense. Their defense did what they had to do without TJ Watt, but their offense just was not good at all. So another miss here for me with the Steelers. Man, did I put my eggs in the wrong basket there. Yeah. Again, these types of weeks happen. It was tough to watch because a lot of them were really close, and I'm like, okay, I'm in this. I'm going to win this one. No, right? But that isn't the case with this next one. The Seahawks +9.5 at San Francisco. I guess the real Seahawks showed up for this one because they looked like the worst team in the NFL, both coaching and personnel-wise. Even though they have some great players still.
Yeah, very conservative game plan. I mean, Pete Carroll's even commented on that this week, that they shouldn't be so conservative.
As if he's not the one calling making the call.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty bad here showing. Good bounce back for San Francisco. Expected them to win, but I figured that Seattle could at least stay in it by more than 9.5, especially in, division rival here. You'd think you'd show up, but nope. Didn't even bother. So
another L
again. Jeez. Yes, right. We're on a streak here, and not a good one. That brings us to the Browns -6 versus the Jets. Oh my gosh, could it get any worse than this one? You're up. The Browns are up by 13 with 2 minutes left. They missed an extra point, but I'm like, oh, that doesn't matter. The line is 6. Even if they score, I push, right? But no, the Browns decide to fall asleep, to not care anymore, to allow the Jets to come back. And wow, did this one shock the world again? I don't think anybody picked the Jets to win this game, but that's exactly what happened. They get the touchdown, they get the onside kick, they score again, and they win. And that just, crushed this parlay for sure. Or this game for sure. So another miss on that one. However, so that was the Sunday games, and I knew I was down this week. So I tripled down on my Monday bet, which just happens to be my team, the Buffalo Bills. And the Bills, I told you, with this bet, this was my big bet of the week, saying that the Bills just look like they're so far and above every other team in the NFL right now. And the 10-point spread just wasn't enough for me. I said the Bills, I'll take the Bills -10 all day. And that turned out to be an easy bet, a comfortable bet, a bet that I knew I won pretty much at the start of the third quarter, if not earlier. And yes, so this was a big made. And luckily for me, it made a lot of my money that I had lost on Sunday back. But you never want to do that if you're the gambler. I would not suggest that to anybody, but it paid off for me because the Bills are my team, and so I had a little more skin in the game in that sense. So we ended on a high note for the week, another win. We began on a high note on the Thursday night game. We ended on a high note for the Monday night game.
And the in-between was a little rough.
Really, really rough, and it's so close in a lot of them, and that's why, Vegas does what they do, but not bad so far on the year. I'm 7-7 with the Thursday games, so that's, we're ready to bounce back and have another winning week. It should be another good competitive week in week 3, but I think I got some picks up my sleeve that'll do well here.
Right, you got to take your medicine in this business, right? Anthony's picks overall for every pick, 21-11, return on investment of 25%. Right, that's number 11 out of 300 analysts. So the credibility is there.
Yes, absolutely.
You have hiccups here and there, but overall, stick to the game plan,
And that shows you that I wasn't the only one losing this week. I'm still 11th overall out of, that many people on Tally Site, the site we use to put in our picks. And so that was a pretty impressive way to stay, even with those key losses that we just outlined for you. Well, we didn't do our miss picks of the week here, right? Because I want to give credit where credit is due.
This is true.
Yeah.
Oh, we need some music for that as well, right? There we go. Back to normal music. All right, here we go.
My made for this week has to go to Joe Flacco, because I was watching this game live and I thought I won my bet and I'm comfortable, right? Oh, it's Joe Flacco. It's the Jets. There's no way. Joe Flacco had that look in his eye, right? I mean, it was fierce watching him. He just looked at the Browns defense and said, "You're really going to sleep on me? You really think I don't know how to do this? That I don't know what I'm doing back here? I'm a vet. I'm going to pound it in you. I'm going to show you what your mistakes you're making." And boom, right away made that quick touchdown. The Browns looked all confused. Oh, what happened? Onside kick. The Jets recover. Flacco takes them on a drive all the way to the goal line, score. Touchdown to go ahead after the extra point. And they used so much time that the Browns couldn't make a comeback anymore. So Flacco did his thing, and he's definitely my make of the week to bring that Jets team. Shout out to the special teams from getting that onside kick too. But I thought Flacco, just watching the game, he looked fierce. He had that look in his eye, and they deserved the win for sure.
Yeah, his first win as a Jet. He's been with the Jets 3 years. I think he was 0 for 6 before this, or 0 for 5. So congrats, Joe Flacco.
Mm-hmm.
How about your miss of the week?
Oh boy, this could go a lot of different ways. This past week, especially, I should probably give it to the Browns defense for falling asleep.
Yeah. Well, all phases, right? Not just the defense.
Oh man, just I know when you have that big lead and you blow it, it's rough. But I don't even remember what I told you was my miss this week, because that game's still stuck in my mind. The Browns, that was just so embarrassing to lose the way that they did. And I have to stick to them and say, look, this was some of the most embarrassing football I've seen in a long time. to have such a big lead and then just not care and lose. It's one thing if you're like still fighting and they come back on you, whatever. But
yeah,
this was clearly a case of the Browns thought the game was over. And
it's
you
a
can't
big
do
miss.
that in the NFL.
Yeah, it's a big miss. Here's the series of events one more time. Browns fall apart. Corey Davis touchdown. Onside kick recovered by the Jets. Garrett Wilson touchdown. Jacoby Brissett throws an interception with 12 seconds left in an effort to get them in the field goal range. So that's all three phases. That's defense, special teams, and offense all collapsing for the Jets to have a chance to win that.
Mm-hmm.
So
rough.
Yeah, big miss of the week there.
Yeah, and I mean, honorary mention would be the Bengals there for me, and having so much momentum and going against the team that kind of had the air taken out, and the Cowboys, honorary mention for the opposite, the maid of the week, for coming out and telling everybody they were wrong about what this team's going to be without Dak Prescott.
For sure. So now it's my turn. My miss of the week goes to Matt Ryan, Frank Reich, and the Colts offense. 0 points versus Jacksonville.
Zero. Nothing.
After you ship out Carson Wentz, you bring in Matt Ryan. I picked them to win the division. I mean, a lot of people did. And to lay an egg against Jacksonville, who's the team that knocked you out of the playoff hunt last year in the final week of the NFL. That's a huge miss for me. 3 interceptions in that game by Matt Ryan. They went for it twice on 4th down and didn't get it. Huge miss for me. And that's a rough one. Make of the week goes to the Arizona Cardinals defense as a whole, but in particular, Isaiah Simmons and Brian Murphy Jr. knocking the ball out in overtime, stripped the ball from Renfrew and took it all the way for a touchdown. I mean, that's ideal. Nobody thinks you're going to win at that point. As soon as the offense gets the ball, you think it's over. The fans do at least. I'm sure the players think they can strip it, but how often does it actually happen? And how often does the defense have a walk-off touchdown in a game? It just doesn't happen. So that is my make of the week. Congratulations to the Arizona Cardinals. That play arguably saved the season. There's momentum there now, right? Cliff Kingsbury's amped. Kyler Murray's amped. And all because Isaiah Simmons made a great play. And that's what they talk about when you draft instincts. That's what you're talking about, right? Perfect tackle. I think Renfrew was injured on the play, so hopefully he recovers. But great play by them.
Beautiful, yeah.
All right, so that wraps up week 2. And now we're on to week 3.
Week 3, baby.